I'm JC, and you're watching Confident Real Estate. On today's episode, we're going to talk about ways you can maximize your cash flow income from your rental and investment properties. They're so simple that not watching this video could actually cost you money. We're not talking about major capital improvements and major renovations. In fact, most of these don't require much investment, if any at all. We're literally going to look at 6 ways to make you more money, to look at a property you might be analyzing and see it for the bigger picture and potentially see the real deal that might not be apparent on the surface. So click like on this video, buckle in, get a notepad, and let's make you money. Watch this video all the way to the end because you could literally make thousands of dollars extra per year per property by watching this video. Ready? Buckle in. Let's go. Number 1, the first way you're going to maximize your profits is so simple it seems obvious, and yet a large majority of you are not doing it. Price your units to the market. So many investors I hear constantly saying that they're going to price their units slightly below market so they could fill it quickly. That's undercutting yourself, not once, but 12 times in a row, month after month. Most leases are at least a 1-year term, and God help you if it's a 2-year term and you've undercut yourself to fill the unit. That's 12 to 24 times you have just undercut yourself by not pricing to the market, when the truth is pricing at market or even slightly above market will fill the unit almost as quickly. Would you rather wait a couple of extra weeks, maybe 3-4 weeks max, to fill your unit at a market rate rent and get paid that rent 12 to 24 consecutive times in a row? Or fill it up 2 weeks earlier and you undercut yourself for 1 to 2 year term? It just doesn't make sense. Don't do it. And if you're not sure what the market rate rent should be, use sites like Redfin and Zillow to help you calculate your comparables, your comps. And if you don't know exactly how to do that, well, we just did a video about that not too far in the past, maybe a week or 2 ago, called Calculating Your Comps Confidently. I'm going to leave a link to it down below in case you didn't watch it. And if you did watch it, keep refreshing it. Watch it again to remind yourself so that you're doing it correctly and you're not shortcutting yourself out of money that you should be earning. It just doesn't make sense. It's so simple. It's almost as simple as hitting that like button down below that I asked you to hit. So if you didn't already, please do it now, because that was just number 1, and it's pretty simple. I think it's logical too. Number 2 is just as simple. Number 2 is screen your tenants. Would you let a perfect stranger off the street walk into your house and start living there? If you're house hacking and there's just a wall separating you and that stranger off the street and you haven't screened them, that is literally what you just did. It's exactly the situation you're living in. And even if it's not your primary residence and it's just an investment property, it's still your property. You're letting a stranger off the street come live there that you know nothing about. Why? Because they gave you some money? Are they going to give you that money every month for the entire term of the lease? I don't know. Neither do you. Screen your tenant. It's very simple. You pick up the phone, you make some calls to their prior landlords, you make calls to their references, you contact their employer and just confirm their employment. You run a credit check, a credit report. It may cost you a few bucks. If you live in a state that allows you to pass that charge on to the tenant, okay, go ahead. But if not, it's not an expensive cost to you. Would you rather rent the unit quickly to someone you know nothing about, who may not pay you rent for at least 3 months before you start an eviction proceeding, and then they take another 4, 5, 6, 7 months to get through the eviction process? In the meantime, you've lost 7, 8 months of rent, maybe more, plus thousands of dollars going out the door in legal fees, cleaning costs, repair costs, and more. It's not worth it. Just screen your tenant. You're not even considering the non-monetary factor of the stress and headaches that whole nightmare situation is going to cause you because you couldn't spend a couple of hours making some phone calls and running a credit check. It actually doesn't even take that long usually. Just do it. It's a no-brainer. That's number 2. I just made you more money. Number 3 is hire a property manager. And I can already hear some of you saying, no way, I'm not giving up to 10% of the gross rents I collect to a property manager. I'll manage it myself. But you know what? A good property manager knows how to get you market rate rents or maybe even slightly above market and how to fill that unit quickly at market or slightly above market. And you know why? Because they make 10% of the rents they collect for you. The more money they make you, the more money they make themselves. It's common sense. Plus, they know how to properly screen a tenant. So if you're new to real estate investing, that 10% is the cost of learning, and it saves you like an insurance policy from the larger potential that you would face on your own for having to confront and evict a horrible bad tenant, especially if your investment property is a duplex or a triplex in a small area geographically. Maybe you're in a specific town. That property manager may know some of the local deadbeats that you've never faced yet, and they may already push them out the door. You don't want someone coming in, paying you 2 months of rent and then not paying you for the next 7 while you spend thousands of dollars on an eviction proceeding. That 10% to the property manager, it's not sounding so bad now, is it? Really consider it, because it can maximize the amount of money you take in. It will maximize your return to spend a little bit of that money on a property manager who is going to make your property and your investment run smoothly. And if you don't know how to find a good property manager, guess what? We did a whole video on how to find a good property manager and what to look for in a property manager. I'm going to leave the link to that video below as well. It's going to be right below where the subscribe button is for this channel, because at this point, if you don't think we have anything to offer, you should just click off this video. If you're still watching, that means you're really serious about doing this and maximizing your return. And we are giving you the knowledge and input from our experience free, totally free of charge. Hit subscribe, hit like, and really consider a property manager. Now let's move on. Number 4 is consider allowing pets, because you're going to be advertising your listing that's now going to be in front of an entire pool of renters that typically have a hard time finding a decent place to live, because as you well know, most landlords don't want pets. And if you're concerned about your hardwood floors and dogs that scratch it up, maybe you limit it to 1 dog under 25 pounds or something to that effect. But allowing pets opens you up to an entire market of renters that struggle to find a decent place to live and rent in most markets. And on top of that, it creates market leverage for you to charge slightly above market rents, because you're advertising to a pool of renters that have a limited amount of options in front of them because of their furry friends. And there's additional ways to make income off pets. 2 specifically that come to mind. First, consider a non-refundable deposit that should cover any deep cleaning or potential damage that a pet may cause. The industry standard, at least here in the Northeast, is about $250 up front. Second, charge a pet rent of anywhere from $25 to $50 per pet per month. Just look at what other people in your area are charging for pets, the few that allow pets, and that'll be a good guidance for what your local geographic area industry norm is. If it's $25 a month and you get someone with 2 small dogs, that's $50 extra a month. And then say you have 2 units and the other person has 1 dog as well, and they're paying you $25. That is $75 extra per month that you are taking in. On a 12-month lease, that $75 extra a month is $900. Do you think the pets are going to cause more than $900 in damage? Some little chihuahuas? Probably not. That's additional rent from pet rent that you are now pulling in. Number 5, consider shorter term rentals. And I'm not talking Airbnb or some other vacation rental option. I'm talking about lease terms of more than 30 days but less than 12 months. Say you offer a 6-month option. That would completely eliminate most of your competition, and you can charge above market because you're one of the few options people looking for short-term rental of less than 12 months might have. Maybe they're only going to be in town for 6 months with the possibility of 12 because they're there for work. Well, you can give them a 6-month option, and usually you can charge up to 10% over market for that 6-month term. And if you're willing to offer a month-to-month term with a 30-day termination clause, you can charge even more than 10% over market because you're giving an option that doesn't exist, and you're getting your listing in front of an entire subsector of renters with very limited options, and they will pay a premium for the option that you were smart enough to offer. Number 6 is adding laundry facilities. It could be as simple as a simple washer and dryer in the basement of your property for the 2 units of your duplex to share, but it's a coin operated washer and dryer. The cost of buying it or leasing it with a warranty for service and repairs built in will pay for itself sooner than you think. And if you have a commercial multifamily, meaning usually above 4 units, 6 or more, having coin operated washer and dryers on premises will set you apart from the rest of the market and increase your resale value when you go to sell the property, because you now also have an additional stream of income, and you've already done something that a lot of other people who are going to buy the property are going to say, wow, I don't even have to put in the laundry facility. It's already there. It will increase the equity value of your property on resale. So really consider that. Look at what everybody else in your market offers in terms of laundry. If you live in an urban area, chances are a lot of these apartment buildings do not offer laundry facilities on premises. People have to schlep 4 or 5 blocks to the nearest laundromat with all their laundry every single week. If you have some coin operated machines in your basement that they can use, well, that makes your property a little bit more enticing, which means you're going to fill your property at market rent or slightly above even quicker, and you're going to get paid every time they put coins in that washer and in that dryer and do their laundry every single week. I'm going to give you a bonus 7th tip, especially if you invest in urban markets like I do. Having security features as simple as well-lit hallways and entryways, which cost you almost nothing to install, will put your property over the edge, because in an urban market, that's curb appeal. And if you go the extra step to have intercom systems with cameras and video screens, then you've just sidelined most of your competition because they can't touch you. You have no idea how many young professionals, kids right out of college, elderly, women that live alone, how much they value being able to see the face of the person that just buzzed their intercom, that they're about to buzz into the building with their food delivery or whatever else. Adding that camera intercom can be huge for your cash flow. Now, obviously, this is not an exhaustive list of all the ways you can creatively increase your income and cash flow from your rental property without major expensive renovations or capital improvement projects. But quite simply, put yourself in your renter's shoes. It's the little things that will make them happy, and you'd be surprised how much happy tenants are willing to pay you. If you have other creative ideas on how to improve your cash flow from your properties, we want to hear them. Leave them in the comments below and share them with the rest of us, please. I hope you got something out of this video. Even if you heard of a couple of these, I'd be shocked if you heard of every single one of them. Even if you did, this was a good refresher. Hit like on the video because I know you liked it. Hit subscribe if for some reason you haven't done so already. And we'll see you next time here on Confident Real Estate. Take care.